has, you could argue, has compromised her integrity by following through this process. This was a guilty charge on kickbacks from gambling operators, and she said, don't worry about it, doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, I think the integrity of President Arroyo is no longer, immaculate. The several issues in the past, including the recurring issues about her husband, his involvement in some of these deals that are questionable, that already removed away any 100% integrity that one may think of her. So that's out of the way. But I think there are other issues here. Estrada, remember, by accepting the pardon, accepted guilt. So therefore, it was just right that the government confiscated the close to $90 million that was part precisely of this charge. So that goes back to the government. And then also the fact that now that he has been pardoned, people will think, is this really very exceptional? No, you see Chundu Hwan in Korea. 2 presidents have been pardoned before. And just look at the United States. So giving pardon is not really kind of, by jurisprudence, is not really something new. I mean, there are a lot of precedents in these things. So I think it was even expected, because I don't think it will be good to have an ex-president in jail. You will just try to kind of scratch the heartstrings of some people.
The prosecutors involved in Estrada's case, though, say this undermines their fight against corruption. Would you agree with that?
Yes, there's part of that, and also people coming from Transparency International always say, look what's happening to corruption. Well, this is the second part. I think the first part is that there was a process in which this man was exposed and that he was proven guilty. There was a sentence, there was a verdict. Okay, that's the first part. What happens after that, I think, is people can forgive, people can forget, and there's what we call for the sake of national interest. So, and I think in this case, it serves better the national interest that he is outside of jail.
Okay, Professor, thank you very much for joining us today. That is Ruben Mondejar, Director of the Global Business Program at City University here in Hong Kong. More world news. U.S. President George W. Bush tours fire-ravaged Southern California as the death toll there rises. He viewed some of the 700 square miles of burnt California landscape from the air and promised residents he would put the full resources of the government at their disposal.
We're not going to forget you in Washington, D.C. That we want the people to know that there's a better day ahead. That today your life may look dismal, but tomorrow life's going to be better. And to the extent that the federal government can help you, we want to do so.
The fires have caused at least 3 deaths. The devastation may cost insurers more than $1.5 billion, having destroyed as many as 3,000 businesses and homes. In Japan, a court rules that Chubu Electric Power can continue operating a nuclear plant that sits on a fault line. The court rejected demands by a group of locals for the plant to be shut down due to earthquake dangers. An earthquake in Nagata Prefecture last July heavily damaged a plant there run by Tokyo Electric Power. The International Olympic Committee says pollution in Beijing may force some events to postpone their start times. The IOC says some Olympic events may be delayed for a day or 2. They did say, though, that special restrictions being implemented by the local authorities should keep the skies clean for most of the games. An IOC inspection team gave an overall positive assessment of Beijing's preparations. A report by the UN Environment Programme criticized China's cleanup as slow and says some pollution exceeds World Health Organization standards. Still to come on Bloomberg Today, I'll speak to the head of a company whose shares have more than doubled in the past year. The chief executive of Asia Info joins me next from Beijing. Stay with us for that.
Yeah.